Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our webinar on improving ways to get a bigger piece of the loan pie. Currently, I have your phones muted, so if you have any questions, the box in the bottom right you can use to ask questions, and we will answer them either as they come in or after we get done with the presentation. So we appreciate you being here, and we're ready to start. What is the recipe for success in getting more loans? Well, the way it used to be, you broadcast marketed. You basically decided what your message was going to be. You're going to send it out to all your recipients, and hopefully you were going to get answers back. Your promotion or offer was a lot of times not relevant to everybody that you'd sent it out to. And you sent out high quantities of pieces and you got a low response rate. So the result was a low cost per piece, but it was a high cost per response because you didn't get as many responses as you would like. What we're doing now is we're definitely doing more one-to-one marketing where we're targeting who we want to send our message to. It's going to be a specific message delivered to specific demographics, and the offer is definitely more relevant to each person that receives it. And you send out lower quantities and you get higher response rates. And another advantage there is you're sending out less pieces through the mail and the post, so then you're paying less for postage. So you've got a higher cost per piece, but you have a lower cost per response, and that's really what you're looking for. What we all want to do is maximize our budget dollars. Marketing budgets are being cut more and more. There's no spread in money, so everybody's looking to cut back on any way they can. Return on investment is being closely analyzed. Everybody wants to know if this is making money, if that promotion's making money. Everybody, managers are looking at that, and results are imperative. We need to have results or we may not be doing any more marketing. So the cost per response is definitely much more important than the price per thousand, and that's the way it should be. So to do targeted marketing, one-to-one marketing, what are we doing? What we're doing is we're reducing your expenses and improving results. And the first step to do that is to take a look at what information is out there, what's available for us to do our marketing and do our campaigns. After we decide what that information is, what we want, then what we do is we collect that information and identify the target market that we're looking for. Then we take that information, we put that data to use, and we decide how we're going to launch our campaign, what kind of campaign we are going to do. And afterwards, as we said earlier, we're going to measure the results and improve upon the concepts of our promotions. Anything we do, we want to measure. We want to find out what worked well, what didn't work well, and then we want to take it and improve the process for the next time we do a campaign. So let's look at step one. What information do you have? What information can we get? Well, currently, you have data from your core processing system and from other internal databases. There's a lot of information you can get internally. Hopefully you can get it easy, but sometimes it isn't that easy. But you've got names, addresses, and email addresses, and one of the things you want to keep doing is building your email addresses, building that database to use to market sometime down the road. You've got account types, savings, checking, auto loans. You know which of those you do want to promote, which ones you want to get more of, so you can target those. You have the balances, and you should have ages of most of your clients and your members. That way, you can, when you do campaigns, you can decide who and how you want to market to them. And then there's also branch preferences for the organizations out there that do have branches. You know which ones are profitable, aren't profitable, which ones you're getting traffic to, and which ones you want to get traffic to. So that's one area that you can concentrate on. Other areas are MCIF systems or DataFlex, which is a product some of our clients use, and they're advanced financial marketing, reporting, and tracking systems. And what they can do is provide you the ability to collect additional demographic criteria. You can also identify trends in activities, new accounts, new account holders, what services they're using, and market more and more of their services. Obviously, one of the goals is to get more services for each one of your accounts. Also, there's advanced analytic capabilities. You can drill down into the accounts and look for other information and ways to market and who to market. And then also householding, what accounts different people in the households have. There's other areas where you can get data. A lot of external sources. There's a real lot of external sources. You can get data enhancement and high-quality mailing lists. You can get the ability to target specific demographics. And location is a pretty important one where you can do it with zip codes, counties, carrier routes, distances around branches, also age, sex, home ownership, equity in homes, and there's many other criteria that you could use. Lists are constantly being updated and improved for accuracy. There's more and more information out there, and they're always being updated. You can purchase lists or append data to your existing account holder lists pretty often. Other areas, there's multiple lists and data suppliers. There's a lot of suppliers out there that are willing to sell you lists. I'm sure you have had them contact you or had emails for some of those. And there's a few basic databases, resident and business occupancy lists. They reach everyone and they're not very targeted. There's consumer lists, so if that's an area that you're looking to market more consumer loans, they are best compiled by divisions of major credit bureaus. And there's many demographic criteria, and also you can get information data from self-reported data, but you have to be kind of leery of that because some of it can be biased and they're looking to promote and make their products look better. A couple other places for business lists, the DNB. You have the ability to reach specific people within a specific industry. And also, you can further target by business characteristics, so you can use those in the business area. Other lists are for new movers, new homeowners, new borrowers, just specialty lists. There's a lot of different lists out there that you can decide to choose from. And also, with all that data, they've definitely started categorizing, putting people in buckets and basically life stages, lifestyles, and life stages. And Axiom Personics is one example of the people that do that. Personics Classics divides the U.S. consumer into 21 different life stage groups made up of 70 different clusters. And below is a sampling of some of the clusters and groups that are out there. So they have a lot of different names for a lot of the different clusters, the different stages they feel people are in, the different buckets that they'll put you in. Okay, and here's one of the sample groups, Boomer Barons, and basically how that is classified is there are 3 of the wealthiest clusters that are grouped into a life stage where big money is made, traded, or banked. Members of this group enjoy a peak in education levels. It's usually upper white collar jobs, and it's working women or a lot of double incomes. And including in the following cluster are some of the states, skybox suburbans, and leveraged lifestyles. So as you can see, they definitely break them down and categorize all of us into different types of buckets. And the sample of the skybox and suburbans is they're the best educated, wealthiest clusters. These wealthy families shop at upscale stores. They'll spend time feathering their nests, and they adhere to regular fitness programs. I wish I was in that group, but I'm not. So, and some of the behavioral models, credit agencies and other data aggregators have developed high-quality behavioral models to identify qualified prospects. A few of the ways they've done this is there's the economic stability indicator, intend to purchase a vehicle, vehicle-dominated lifestyle indicators, and for instance, like with that one, depending on what type of vehicle you buy, they put you in that list, whether you're an outdoors person, like to travel, like to do, different types of vacations, whether it's roughing it or in high luxury hotels. So they take these different things, the heavy transactors model, and they determine where you're at, and then they'll use that data, and if that's information you want to promote services, you can get that. They'll also break it down, like I mentioned, into different interests, depending what people like. That depends, that will determine where they'll shop, what type of vehicle they will get, where they will go on vacation. Also property. Real property data consists of actual property ownership information, mortgage amounts, home sale prices, and what kind of equity is available. You can get a lot of this information from the county public records, from census data, and self-reported surveys. Buying activities is another way that this information is received, and basically where you shop, whether it's online, you do a lot of retail, wholesale can determine, what type of individual you're looking for to market to, and then also ethnicity is another area where you can get this information. Using actual credit bureau data is the way LKCS really chooses to get data for our clients. And because of that, you can react with the right offer at the right time. We work with all three of the big bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And basically, they have 1,100 different data points that they use to gather the information we want to create our lists and to market to our people. And they basically monitor 215 million consumers. So by doing this, you also gain the ability to reach account holders that may be defecting to your competition in the near real time. We can actually let you know when people are looking for loans, if they're looking for loans currently for a car or for a mortgage, and then if they are your members, your clients, you can contact them and basically react versus being, be proactive instead of reactive, and we can help you in that area. And all of this is based on actual credit bureau data. You can deliver a firm offer of credit to cross-sell additional products and services at the moment a need has been identified by your clients. You can extend pre-approved offers of credit to account holders and non-account holders based on actual credit score information. By working with the bureaus, which is the way that we choose to do it, you get all this information. You can find out what credit scores they have, if there has been any delinquencies, if there has been any bankruptcies, things like that, and you can then choose what information, what demographics, what criteria you want to market to them. You set that criteria up yourself for the different types of loan offers you do want to make to your members and the prospects. And what you can do then is send out a direct mail or email offer to qualified account holders or prospects. And you can utilize LKCS's DataFlex reporting engine to measure the results of these campaigns. Like I mentioned earlier, ROI is very important, and you can definitely see who is purchasing, if they're getting any other services, what the results are of the campaigns that you are running. Once you've got all that information, once you've decided what data you want, then what you need to do with that data is assemble it. You need to examine the demographic and psychographic traits of account categories or specific account types. For example, you're likely to see a significant difference between the characteristics of somebody that has CDs, money markets, and saving money versus other individuals that are looking for personal loans. Again, age is very important too on how you're going to market to them, whether it's going to be a direct mail piece or through e-marketing. You want to break your contact list down into smaller segments with these specific characteristics. Each group requires different promotional strategies, like I'd mentioned, and marketing mixes, because each group has different wants and needs. The older people, and I don't know what the definition of older is, but I'm one of the older people. You like to see something in your hand. You want to hold it versus maybe getting something over the internet with an email. But with the younger people, they don't want to see that. And if you're marketing a vehicle to a younger person, you don't want to have a photo of a minivan on there. You want a sports car or something that's definitely more in what they would be looking for. So what you want to do is match your products and your offer to the appropriate segments. Another example of breaking the people down and defining who they are and how you'd want to market to them. I'm sure you've all heard of Gen X and Gen Y and now Gen Z. And Gen X are people born basically in the 60s and 70s. Gen Y people are more the 80s and the 90s, and they like to do everything online and will rarely be seen in your building. They don't care to go into brick and mortar. They just want to get online and sign up for a loan or get other services. They don't need to see you in person. And they consider online chatting, blogs, and social networking ways to get information, whether it's on a restaurant and how good it is, or maybe a hotel and what the service is on that. They will look online and try and see other people's comments and decide what they're going to do with the purchase. And then there's Gen Z, which are kids basically born around after 9/11. They don't remember 9/11, and they don't even know what a checking account is. They think of it as a debit account, and most of them probably do not and will not learn how to write a check. So now that you've got this information, you've decided who you're going to market to. You then need to select how you're going to do that. So you need the formats. Then you need to write the copy, and the copy will be different depending on who, again, you're marketing to, whether it's younger, older, renting, leasing. So you need to determine that information and then also to design the pieces based around that. So the copy is going to be different for the different groups that you're marketing to. The design pieces are going to be different also depending on, and then also the way that you get your message out to these people. But make sure it all matches your target market. Like I said earlier, you don't want to send a auto loan promotion out to an 18, 19, 20-year-old and have a minivan on it. You want a little sports car or a convertible. So definitely just doing something like that can make you lose your message. And as we had talked about, the way to do this is to use VDP marketing methods. And basically VDP is variable data printing. What you want to do is direct and personalize your messages, and you can do it through letters or postcards. You could personalize ads on your statements or your e-statements. You can actually personalize a section of a newsletter to market the service or product that you want to send out. And you can do the same on envelopes. You could have a message printed on the envelopes just to grab their attention and make them take more notice of it. And then with email marketing, you can definitely make that as personalized as you would like. And then you can use all these to do onboarding campaigns, whether it's for new members where you're trying to get them to use more of your services, or indirect clients where you're trying to get them to know more about your institution and also get more of your services. Personalizing gets attention. It's going to make you notice the piece. It's going to make these people look at it and try and read what your message is, what your offer is. Through different surveys done in studies, personalizing something, putting their name on it, making it relate to them can improve response rates by up to 27%. So what you want to do is use personalization as much as you can. You can use it to make your offer more relevant by using specific data. You can extend pre-approval offers on your auto loan, for an auto loan, a credit card, home equity, or whatever service you want to do. And you can help make the applications to be filled out simpler by pre-filling some of the different areas that pre-populate them for the people you're sending them out to make it easier. Laser letters, postcards, self-mailers are all viable direct mail campaigns, and any quantity, it doesn't matter how small, can be used, and you can personalize and send out and market to them. Digital printing basically is the technology that has changed the game and basically made variable data printing, VDP, something to really look at. Press runs are no longer things you worry about. They're a thing of the past. You're not running 100,000, 200,000 piece promotions and just mass mailing them out. You can target all the way down to, said 1, 2, 10, 20 different pieces. And each individual piece can be heavily customized based on information that you have, that you know, either about the prospect or the customer that you have. If it's in the data, if you can get that information, it can be used and it can be personalized and made relevant on your marketing piece to improve your results, and it will improve your results. Some of the areas that you can make variable are the text. I mean, you can have one word or the whole piece you do change depending on what it is. The offer can be different for every person. The images on the piece can be different. Again, like I said, one piece could have a convertible, another piece could have a minivan, another one an SUV, depending on information you may have on that client or that prospect. And the colors too, if you know different colors, if you know they have a vehicle now that is red and they like red, you could have that on there and make that vehicle red. So, and you can, so that there's just so many different things you can do to try and relate, try and make it more personalized to each individual that you're marketing to. And you can keep your branding standards as precise as you need them to be and want them to be. So you basically can make everything variable. And we have a few samples here that I'd like to show you to kind of show that. Here's a postcard that we did for a client. And as you can see, you can change the names of the financial institutions up on top here. You can put anything in there you want. And then also who it's being sent to, you can customize it and put it in a font that's going to grab their attention, make them look at it, and basically you want them to notice the piece. And the best way to do that is make it interesting and make it personalized. I'm sure a lot of you have received some of these types of pieces. I know with the just the housing industry that a lot of the different realtors will send out pieces that have your name on it or information on it. And I know when I see them, I definitely look at them and it does grab my attention. This is the back of that piece, back of that postcard. Again, the name, you can, change the name. You could do it in a bigger type font. You could do it in a different type. The phone number can be different depending on who you'd want them to contact. It could be a different web address, an email address, and then the person they want to contact, that can change. So, I mean, anything on this could be variable, anything to try and, make your product stand out and make people react to it. Here's a sample of a letter that we've done for a client. And here's a lot of variable information. We've got the name here, and we have it here. We have it in the license plate on the vehicle. And like I said, the vehicle could be different. You could send out 200 different pieces, and they could have different vehicles and different colors for the vehicle if you think that, is information that would help sell it. The loan amount and the interest amount can change depending on what their, how they rank for their credit, and so you can definitely vary that. Down here also you can do, let's say in your area a lot of the dealers are offering 0% finance and you're having a hard time getting the loans. You can put the chart down here that shows just because it's 0% doesn't mean you're saving money, because as you know, when you take the rebate, you can finance it for less, and it actually costs less than if you weren't doing that. So there is a savings here on this one of $1,527. So you've got the ability to take the piece and make it interesting and make it pertinent and relevant to everybody that you do market to. And this is something you need to do in this day and age to get more results and get a bigger piece of the pie. Again, you can also do email marketing. As I said earlier, I'm sure a lot of you are out there trying to build your email database because that's very important to do. It is permission-based, but a lot of your younger members, your younger clients, they're online. They're doing that. So in order to build it, you first need to have an opt-in for your email list. And there are many ways you can do this, both online and offline. You can offer promotions to these people to sign up and get their email address. You can have contests, and you can just have your tellers ask for their email address, and a lot of them will give it to you. And a lot of your account holders are doing home banking. You already have their list. You've already got established business relationship with them. So utilize that list in marketing to them. Reasons to use email is it's cost effective. It's inexpensive, but it's not free, but it definitely can save you money. You can track the capabilities to measure results. You can communicate to your online users. And it also allows you direct interaction with your website. You can lead them to your website. You can have a landing page, and you can definitely drive them to where you want them to go. And you have immediate delivery and real-time reporting. You can collect the important data for future correspondence, and you can send a message with minimal turnaround time. I recently had a client that wanted to send out an email blast right away to all their members, and within a couple hours we had it sent out to them. So once you decide to do something, you can do it really quick using email, and it definitely helps coordinate with all your other marketing efforts. The other real good feature for email marketing is you can track it. You can definitely know how many messages were sent. You know how many messages were read. You know if they've read it, opened it and read it, 2 times, 4 times, how many times. And if somebody's looked at a message 3 times or more, there definitely was some interest there. So you could then decide to have one of your officers call them and say, hey, we've got this auto promo going. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's real interesting and it might be something you like. You don't have to tell them, well, we saw that you read it 4 times. You can just definitely use it to market your services and products. You can, see the click-throughs, what they've looked at, and then you can, you've got the subscribes and unsubscribes, and if people are unsubscribing, you could then maybe find out why they're unsubscribing. Contact them and say, was it something we did? Was there an issue? So you can even use that to learn more about your organization and how to market better. There's complete user information and there's detailed reporting, and this helps you optimize on follow-up with these different prospects and clients. And you can then build your lists. You can have a general email message. You can have a message for people that when you have a new raid, people that you feel could be looking for cars. You can just take these different lists and you can break them down, and you can send out more targeted messages to them if you feel that's something that would make sense to do. You also can customize the fields for future targeting. Fields such as age, zip code, account number, preferred branch location. Those are, areas you're opening a new branch or you have a branch that needs more, you do need it to be more profitable. You can just target those people and send that information just to them. And it can be very personalized, exactly like direct mail. Another area that some of our clients are using or getting into more is text messaging. It's a segment. You can basically segment the list by demographic criteria and account relationships. Text messages can be personalized. I know you might be thinking, well, I don't know if I could be sending out a text message or not, but if they don't like it, that they have to opt in and they can opt out. But unlike email messages, where fewer than 20% of the messages are opened, even though that is a very large percentage for doing a marketing campaign. With texting, within 15 minutes of sending a text blast, over 95% of your subscribers will have looked and read the message. I know every time my cell phone beeps or buzzes, you look down. If there's a message, you definitely look at it. So it is a way to reach, a certain demographic of people and get your message out there. And like I said, you can, it's an opt-in, opt-out process. So now you can get a bigger piece of the loan pie. You now know you can target more. There's different ways to get the data, and you can definitely take your message and you can be creative with it and meet the people's needs that are looking at it. And LKCS can assist you in that area. LKCS has all the ingredients you need. We have the recipes to help you succeed. LKCS has the chefs and the experience to create, organize, and control the recipes, and we can help you deliver your slices of the loan pie to the right clients at the right time. We can definitely be there and help you if you need that. I appreciate you being here and listening to our webinar. My name is John Dudek,